Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you're joining us today in today's live lecture coming to you from Nkolo Mahadum Wisdom University. Today's date is Nkwo Market Day in the Igbo lunar calendar. And in the Roman Catholic calendar, today's date is 7/15/2025. And remember, at Nkolo Mahadum, we always encourage you to use your naturally given common sense, which we call akonuche in Igbo language. And because we package our lectures, we package and present our lectures from Biafran, from Igbo man, Biafran and African perspectives, we want you to join us, subscribe, follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. And as we speak right now, we are live on YouTube, we are live on Facebook, we are live on Twitter and TikTok. So join us, because the lectures we are presenting to you is to make you to reason, because Nkolo Mahadum Wisdom University is an university. That is why we present different lectures, to make you see things that you cannot get. The lectures we are presenting, you cannot get it from any other university, or or you cannot get it from any other place in this world. That is why it is important, you as an Igbo man, you as a Biafran, an African, and an African, to follow us, to join us, so that each time we present a new lecture, you will be the first to get it. And the title of today's lecture is Lessons for the Igbo race, Biafrans and Africans, from the Afghanistan defeat of NATO in 2021 to 2021 war. You know that war that the Afghan people defeated NATO. NATO is North Atlantic Treaty Organization, led by United States. United States is the military wing, is the one that is fighting the wars, providing the ammunitions and the soldiers, and then backed by so many other countries, which I will mention their names in this lecture. So in that war that they went to Afghanistan in 2001, after the attack of the World Trade Center, we want to use it for you to reason, to understand the world we live in, and hence this lecture. And before we continue, we have to give you some historical perspective about Afghanistan. The ancient history of Afghanistan, pre-Islamic period, there was a time Afghanistan is not a Muslim country. The pre-Islamic periods dates back to prehistoric era and Helmand civilization around 3,300 to 2,350 BCE, before the Christian era. Because, like we presented in our last lecture, that Afghanistan is never conquered. They have been there since the creation of man, the creation of human beings. They have been there and not conquered. And Afghanistan have witnessed so many military campaigns against them, including the Persians, Alexander the Great, Maurya Empire, Arab Muslims, the Mongols, the Mongol Empire, the British, Soviet Union, and lastly, the US-led coalition, which is the main lecture we want to present to you today. Also, we want to let you know that it was the Durrani Empire in 1747 that united Afghanistan under Ahmad Shah Durrani. When Durrani died and his second son took over, Timur Shah, who also died in 1793. After they died, there was war in Afghanistan within themselves, which led to the division of Afghanistan into Herat, Kandahar, and Kabul. However, the Fourth War of Unification from 1823 to 1863 by Dost Muhammad Khan. They also fought the British 3 times. And the third time, which is a very short war, from that ended in August 8, 1919, they defeated the British Empire. In addition to they also fought the Russians from 1979 to 1989 and also defeated them. So they've been fighting wars. But going back also to their history again, Zahir Shah was overthrown in 1973 and the Republic of Afghanistan was established. The Republic of Afghanistan was established in 1973 when Zahir Shah was overthrown by his cousin. And like we said earlier, the Soviet Union also invaded in 1979 and was defeated in 1989. So you can see that the Afghan people have been fighting wars since they came to be. There have never been a time they have not been fighting. And also, the main lecture we are presenting today was when NATO, under George Walker Bush, invaded the Afghan people in 2001. And that war lasted from 2001 to 2021. For 20 years, they were fighting the Afghan people to colonize them. And who are other countries in the NATO alliance? Because they went to the Security Council and got support from the Security Council. I remember who are in the Security Council with their veto power. So they got the power that they needed from the Security Council. And other countries that were fighting with them in Afghanistan includes United Kingdom, France, Canada, Italy, Germany, Australia, New Zealand, and the one they call Northern Alliance. All of them were fighting the Afghan people for 20 years. And after that war, 3,621 NATO forces died. 66,000 to 69,095 Afghan security forces. You know, the one they call Afghan security forces are the Afghans that they recruited in the army, Afghan people. 66,000 to 69,000 of them died in that war. And then the Taliban, those defending the country, the one they call the Taliban, they lost up to 80,000 soldiers. So when you add the 80,000 soldiers from the Taliban, who are Afghan people, and the 66,000 to 69,095 of the Afghan security forces, that gives you almost 140-something thousand Afghan people that died in that war in total. And eventually, the government of the NATO forces collapsed in Afghanistan. Meanwhile, they signed an agreement to end the war in 2020 and finally withdrew their forces from Afghanistan in 2021. You can remember names as Hamid Karzai, Hamid Karzai was the one that was representing the NATO forces in Kabul between 2001 and 2014, and later replaced by Ghani Almazaya. You see all the deaths and destruction during that war in Afghanistan. You also see the chaos at the airports of those who were helping the NATO forces, the foreign invaders, trying to run away from Afghanistan. You see all that chaos. We will show you some videos in this lecture, but it will take more time. And so we decided not to show some videos of the chaos, people trying to run away. Those who have been working with NATO people, trying to run away from Afghanistan. Some of them try to hang on planes. Why are they trying to hang on planes? These people you see that we are running away, try to run away when the Afghans defeated the NATO people, will have been the beneficiaries. They will have been the one helping the foreign invaders, the NATO foreign invaders, to impose foreign culture on the people of Afghanistan people. So if NATO had won that war, you see all those people running away from the airport, trying to escape, they will have been the governors, they will have been the leaders across Afghanistan. They will have been the beneficiaries. But because they failed in their support of foreign NATO forces, now they are running away. That's why you see all that chaos in the airports. And now, if NATO had won that war, because to NATO, they lost an opportunity to take control of Afghanistan and exploit their resources and impose their culture. And you know the culture they will impose will include their educational system, their religion, their music, their way of life, and making sure that Afghan people are dependent on them for all the services that they need in their country. Complete exploitation and slavery of the Afghan people. That is what the NATO people lost by losing that war in Afghanistan, because their intention is to take over that country and start to exploit their natural resources and impose puppets on them forever and ever. But they failed to do so. And to the Afghanistan people, they defeated foreign invaders. They defeated NATO forces who are foreign invaders trying to invade their country. This war happened in our own eyes. That is why it is important that we use it in this lecture. For you as an Igbo man, for you as a Biafran, for you as an African, to know that you have to understand that in this world, it is only war that will save you. If you cannot fight, your race will be forgotten. And what are the lessons? What are the lessons of this war, the defeat of NATO by the Afghan people for the Igbo race, for the Biafrans, and for the Africans? What are you going to learn? What is the takeaway? Some of the takeaways is that you don't fight once and run away. You don't fight once and run away. We, the Biafran people, we lost one war between 1967 and 1970. And when you talk about war now, some of us will be asking you, did you see the other war? Did you see the other war? They are afraid to fight. But the people of Afghanistan have been fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting since they start to live in that geographical area. They've been fighting and defeating and warding off foreign invaders. And tomorrow, you will try to badmouth the Afghan people. You look at them as if they don't know what they're doing. Yes, they know what they're doing. They are protecting their culture. They are protecting their resources. They are protecting their people from foreign influence, from foreign exploitation, from foreign division. That's what they are doing. And we, the Biafrans and Igbos and Africans, should be able to learn how to ward off foreign invaders. The Afghan people always come together to defeat foreign invaders. That's why they were able to defeat all the people that have been coming to colonize them. Be it the Persians, be it the Alexander the Great, the Maya Empire, Arab Muslims, the Mongols, the Monhai Empire, the British, Soviets, and the last US coalition. They always come together to fight off foreign invaders. So Igbos, Biafrans, and Africans, come together to protect your own interest. Don't allow foreigners to always come into you to divide you. Because once you are divided, you will fall. Protect your own. That's what the Afghan people have been doing in their land. That's why they have never been colonized. The third lesson is, do not sabotage the Igbo race. Do not sabotage the Igbo race or the Biafran race or the African people. Don't sabotage them, because that is what happened in Afghanistan. All those people, Kazai, Ghani, Ahmazai, and all those people that they recruited in the Afghan security forces, that the NATO people recruited, and all those people helping them in Afghanistan during the war, they were all sabotaging the Afghan people. And that was why you see them running away when they lost that war. They want to leave Afghanistan because they know that what they have done is wrong. Do not stop sabotaging your own race. Just like in the coastal area of Biafra land, our coastal brothers, why are you sabotaging Biafran restoration? And you are getting only 13% out of the 100% of your resources, and you are happy with 13%. Do not sabotage the Igbo race or Biafran or African. Don't do that. Respect the Afghan people. Sometimes we talk down on the Arabs. You talk down on the Arabs without understanding the whole picture of the world. That these Arabs, most of these Arab countries, are trying to protect their culture. That's why they are fighting off foreign influence. They want to be on their own. They want decisions made in their country to be from their country, not from Washington or London or Paris or somewhere else. That's what they are doing. So respect them. Don't see them that they don't know what they're doing. After all, we that are the Igbo people, that's Biafran people or some Africans that have copied the Western culture and influence, where are we? Where are we in the position of the world? We are, especially the Igbo people, we are conquered people. We are defeated in a war. So what pride do we have? We don't have any pride to be bad-mouthing or not to see what some of these Arab countries are doing, trying to protect their resources and their people. Very, very, very important. That is why we are presenting this lecture to you, for you to know that the Afghanistan defeat of NATO, you know what NATO is. Some African countries will hear NATO, they will think that NATO is not defeatable. No, they are. They are. Even Britain is defeatable. France is defeatable. All of them are defeatable. If you truly know what you want. And so, before we continue, please join us, subscribe, follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. And we are live on YouTube. Follow us. We are live right now on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Because all the lectures we are packaging is for you to think. It's for you to understand the world we live in. We are an university. It's not a gossiping center. No. That's why you should share our lectures. Like it. Comment and share it to everybody. So today's lecture is that the lessons we Igbos, we the Igbo people, the Biafran people and Africans have to learn from the Afghanistan defeat of NATO in 2001 to 2021 war. 20 years they fought to colonize Afghanistan people in our own eyes. And they failed. And we are letting you know that Afghanistan have never been conquered. And they have been existing from before they became Muslims. The pre-Islamic period dates back to prehistoric era and Hellman civilization around 3,300 to 2,350 BCE, before the Christian era, before we started to count the current calendar. They have been existing. And they have had so many military campaigns against them, including the Persians, Alexander the Great, the Maurya Empire, Arab Muslims, the Mongols, the Moghai Empire, the British, the Soviets, and then the US coalition, which is the one we are discussing today. And we are letting you know that it was the Durrani Empire in 1747 that united the Afghan people. But after the death of Durrani and Timur Shah died in 1793, Afghan was divided into Herat, Kandahar, and Kabul. And they fought war of independence to reunite between 1823 and 1863 by Dost Muhammad Khan. We also let you know that they fought the British 3 times. And in the third war, they defeated the British. So you don't fight and run away. You fight and you keep fighting. That is the only way you can achieve your objective. And then they also defeated the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union invaded them in 1979, and they were defeated in 1989. Can you imagine that? All these powers, they have been defeating them. And then US President George Walker Bush, who served the US between 2001 and 2009, after the attack in New York, decided to wage war with NATO allies. They went to United Nations Security Council, obtained their permission to go to war with Afghanistan, accusing Afghanistan they are harboring Al-Qaeda, because they always accuse you. Always they come to accuse you. And then that war lasted, like we said, from 2001 to 2021. And those that followed the United States to fight against Afghanistan included United Kingdom, France, Canada, Italy, Germany, Australia, New Zealand, and the one they call Northern Alliance. Northern Alliance are people that are in Afghanistan already, that they also recruited. And we are saying that about 3,621 NATO forces died in that war. And then 66,000 to 69,095, the one they call Afghan security forces, the people of Afghanistan that they recruited to fight against their own people, they also died in that war. and then the Taliban themselves, who are defending their land. They call them Taliban. About 80,000 plus of them died in that war. So when you add the Taliban, who are defending the land, and the Afghanistan, who were recruited, who died, which are about 6,000 who died in that war. It's about 100 and something thousand Afghanistanis that died in that war of resistance to resist the foreign NATO, US invaders into their land. And you heard about Hamid Karzai, who was representing the NATO forces in Kabul between 2001 to 2014, and then replaced by Ghani Ahmadzai. All these people, plus all the people running away from the airport, are all those that we are working with the foreign invaders to colonize Afghanistan. And then you see, if NATO had won that war, it's all these people also that we are running away that help them, that will be beneficiaries of the victory. They will be the one that be governors, ministers, whatever they are appointing them into positions in that country. They will be serving as puppets to the foreign invaders. And they will be the one imposing foreign culture on their people, just like our people are now the ones imposing foreign culture on our people. They will impose their religion, their education, their banking, their music, their clothing, their way of life, or the people of the Afghanistan people. And to the Afghan warriors, the people that defeated the NATO forces, they defeated foreign invaders. They defeated colonizers. They defeated those coming to exploit them and enslave them. And the lessons for the Igbo race, Biafrans and Africans, is that you don't fight once and run away. You can tell from the history of Afghanistan people, they've been fighting. And they even fought the British 3 times. And on the 3rd one, they defeated the British. They defeated the Soviet Union. And they defeated almighty NATO with all these countries mentioned earlier. So you have to be ready to be fighting. And you can see what is going on in this world now. It is war that they are using to do everything. If your race cannot fight, your race will be wiped out of the earth, or enslaved, or killed. That is the truth about it. And you have to ward off foreign invaders. Learn to ward off, learn to drive away, try to fight off foreign invaders. Because that was what the Afghan people did. That's what they've been doing. When foreigners want to come in, they will come together and fight off that foreigner. And it's been a successful tactics to maintain your power, to maintain your territory, to maintain your identity, and to maintain your culture. Do not sabotage the Igbo race, or the Biafran people, or the African people. Don't sabotage. Because all those people that are running away from the airport could be classified as saboteurs, sabotaging the effort for the Afghan people to secure their land. And they were running away from the airport. And we are saying, do not criticize somebody that you don't know. Appreciate what other people are doing to save them their territory, to save their resources, to prevent colonization. Respect the Afghan people and other foreigners who are working hard, who are fighting off foreign influence and intervention in their land. And we are saying, we the Igbo people, we are the Biafran people, African people that have embraced this foreign culture. Where are we today in the world? The African people are conquered people. And the Igbo race is not only conquered, we are also defeated. So we don't have to be raising our shoulder anywhere. We're supposed to come down and look at how the world functions and trying to find our way to rescue ourselves from where we are. We are down in the ground. We that have embraced foreign culture and going after foreign culture, we Igbo people, we African people, we Biafrans, we are down to the ground. That's what we want you to know. And before we end this lecture, we have to beg you to please join us, subscribe, follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok, so that anytime we present a new lecture, you're going to be the first to get it. And also go back to our previous lectures, because all the lectures that we have packaged and presented is for your benefit. It's for you to learn things you will not learn anywhere else that will benefit you as an Igbo man, as a Biafran, and as an African. And finally, always work towards the dismantling, the dislocation of the present colonial boundaries in our land. Because those colonial boundaries are the sources of poverty, war, migration, exploitation, intimidation, and poverty in our land. And with this, we shall be bringing today's lecture to an end. Thank you very much for joining me today, and share this lecture. Please share it to get to everybody across the world, so that we, the Igbo race, we, the African people, we, the Biafrans, can understand that looking at what is going on, we are nowhere in world affairs. We are nowhere, and we should come down and plan better for the emancipation and freedom of our people. Thank you very much, and wait for our next lecture. If you join us as soon as we start our new lecture, you'll be the first to get it. Thank you very much, and have a good day. Bye-bye.